So for the last 10 days, I've been road tripping across Namibia. No cell service, no Zoom calls, barely any Wi-Fi. We camped under the stars, we climbed dunes, we road tripped for hours across the desert. And during the same time frame, my business made $56,809.90 without me even lifting a finger. I'm going to show you the exact breakdown of that revenue as well as how I made it happen. I run a remote cleaning business based in Los Angeles called Mavis, and I've been running this business for over 11 years now. I built it from day one to be fully remote. That way I could quit my job, travel the world, and I've been doing this for the last decade. I've been traveling for almost 10 years now and traveling across about 60 different countries. And I always work remotely. This trip was a little bit different because this trip I was in the middle of the desert in Namibia. Barely any cell service, barely any Wi-Fi. I can't put out fires. I can't get on calls with customers. It was completely different. This trip wasn't just a break from business for vacation. It was also a stress test. I've learned over time that sometimes it's good to actually get away from the business to see where the holes are in the leaky bucket. So when you get back, you can fix it. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to make this revenue happen. So the $56,000 I'm mentioning came specifically from my Los Angeles location that's made this Los Angeles. I started it in 2013, started as a side hustle, eventually quit my 9-to-5 and started traveling in 2015. Now that business has a full team as part of it, meaning the cleaners, of course, but I also have operations staff, sales staff, and general manager in place. I'm going to tell you the exact breakdown of revenue from that. So total sales during the 10 days I was gone for cleanings that actually happened on the residential side, $36,876.90. On the Airbnbs, because we also do Airbnbs, was about $6,713. Total new sales, so brand new sales, which hasn't happened yet, but that the sales team closed without me, $13,220. That comes out to $56,809. Now, I do want to clarify something because I freaking hate it when people online say, I made X amount of money. And the truth is, most times when people say I made amount of money, they're talking about revenue. So I do want to be very clear. This is revenue. Revenue is different from profit. Revenue is just top line sales. And then there's, of course, marketing expense, operation expense, staff costs, things like that, which bring you down to profit. Currently, I'm just talking about the revenue and top line. And I do want to be very clear about that because I think something people try to trick you on. So that's something to flag where this is revenue. Now, one thing to know here is every revenue stream I mentioned here is powered by systems or people, not me. I did not do a single sales call, did not hop on a single call with my team, did absolutely nothing. Now, it takes a while to get to that point. Now, let me break out what my team looks like for Los Angeles. So, of course, number one, there's the cleaners. That's kind of separate. We have the cleaners over there who service it. We do residential as well as Airbnb turnovers. That's the main focus. The team is 2 salespeople. The salespeople are based in Latin America. So these calls get routed to my sales teams. We do a lot of marketing, and it's usually people looking for, let's say, residential cleaning. They'll close the sale, push online. After that, the operations team takes over. So most of the existing business which is booked, that's on operations. They're in charge of matching the cleaners to the actual schedule, making sure people stay happy, making sure the engines are running. That's what they're in charge of. So we have 3 people in operations right now. All of them are based in Latin America. The reason my team's based in Latin America is because a lot of the cleaners are Spanish speaking. So it makes sense to have people from Latin America for that. The beauty of this day and age, though, is that you can have a fully remote local business and use global talent to service that local location. Like I mentioned, This is based in Los Angeles. But our team is not in Los Angeles. Our team's all around the world. Like I'm currently in Africa, right? And I'm managing it remotely. Same thing with all of our team. Calls garages the teams in different places, and they're the ones who service whatever they need to do for that job function. It's a fully global team for a local operation, which is a total cheat code, by the way, because a lot of your competitors are using office staffers, they're paying for leases, they're paying for vehicles, they're having local people do the work at astronomical prices. You could get equal, if not better talent abroad, and that's what we do. Now, when you get started in business ownership, if you are the entire business, every decision has to go through you, if you have to be on every sales call, if you have to go on the field, you don't have a business, you have a job. A business owner's sole job is to work themselves out of a job. It took me way too long to learn this. How does that happen? Systems and people, right? This whole business is designed, how I've set it up is to have systems and processes and people. I'll go into the exact breakdown on how I do that, but that's the most important part is relying on the systems you build and relying on people to work yourself out of a job. The only work I did when I was in Namibia is thinking, planning, strategizing, recharging. That's kind of it. There's a certain point where you could eventually work yourself out of the business where you don't have to be there on a day-to-day basis. This was absolutely not the case the first few years when I was in the business. I remember even when I was traveling in South America, when I first quit my job, I couldn't do like 5-day treks like everyone else in the hostels because I needed to be plugged in. Because if calls came in, I was working. I had to pick up the calls, I had to put out fires, I had to do all of these different things. And at that point, even though I was remote and it was awesome, I kind of built myself a prison. I built myself a job. And, a lot of people want to quit their 9-to-5 and say, hey, I want to start a business which creates $10,000 per month in income. I could quit my job. It's going to be awesome. It's not insanely hard to do that. The hard part, though, is building a business which doesn't need you in there 8 to 10 hours a day in order to run it, to make that amount of money. That's the hard part. It takes a while to build up the systems to actually do that. So when I was on this trip, my focus now, since I'm not in the trenches anymore, is focused on 3 main things. And these are the 3 things I think any business owner and CEO should be focused on when they get themselves out of the trenches. Number 1, painting the vision for the future. How do you relay the vision you want for the team? How do you plan where the company's going? That's a big part of what a CEO's job is when it's out of the trenches. Number 2, normally would be managing the team. That means providing guidance, coaching to the leadership team. It means also recruiting new people, kind of keeping the ears to the ground and understanding what the team needs and helping them out with that. Obviously, on the trip, I wasn't really able to do that. I normally have on Mondays all my management meeting calls. I completely rescheduled them and canceled them. So nothing got moved forward for that. That's normally what I would focus on. The last part would be biz dev, is I think a really key focus of what anyone should be focused on when you're a business owner and not in the trenches. That's things like mapping out new tools and software and different things which are just not the normal day-to-day course of business. Even when I was like on the dunes, hiking Dune 45 at Dead Valley, walking around, a large part of it was thinking about what can I do to take the business to the next level. And I actually run 2 different businesses. One is Made This Cleaning, which is my LA location. That's the number shared above. The other is Made This Franchise. Made This Franchise is for people who want to copy exactly what I did and Made This into their own market. They could buy into a franchise system, get an insane amount of support, decrease the time they need to get to that escape velocity. It's incredible. So we have almost 30 locations. So a large part of what I was focused on is just the vision and biz dev part for both my LA operation as well as franchising. So an example is I remember I was walking on the desert and my wife and I decided to walk somewhere called Hidden Valley, which is really far away. It was like a 2-hour hike in the desert to get there, which I don't know why we did it, but we kept doing it. And a large part of it, I was just kind of pondering in my head. It's like, okay, what are cool new business ideas? I knew a big problem our franchisees face is how do I recruit remote team talent, just like I did in LA? How do I onboard them quickly? So my thought was, okay, let me start planning a scheme of being able to subscribe to a service that could do all of this kind of stuff for them. That'd be an example of things I do when I have this time, when I'm not plugged in, when I'm not online. You could kind of do a little bit more creative thinking, and that's a large part of what I was focused on. The truth is, if you want to scale, you have to buy back your calendar. That is the number one thing you can do and have to do. So you could have experiences where you get out, you have experiences where you just have the capacity to vision plan and do biz dev. I'm going to teach you what's called the remote local blueprint. This is the exact blueprint of how to create a lifestyle intentionally that allows you to do things like go to the Namibia desert for 10 days and have a business run on autopilot. Now, a couple things I want to note. The lifestyle I built was very intentional. I did not want to be stuck in an office. I did not want to have a bunch of vehicles and wraps and people reporting to me. I don't want that, right? So the way I built the business and structured it is what I now call a remote local type of business model. A local business you could run remotely. I have a buddy, Josh, who bought a power washing business. He escaped the 9-to-5 and decided he's going to buy a business, and he did it. And the business is doing really, really well financially. He's making, $300,000-$400,000 a year in profit from a power washing business. And I asked him, I was like, Josh, how are things going? How do you like everything? And he's like, dude, I freaking hate it. And I was shocked. I was like, what do you mean you're making so much money? He's like, yeah, but I got to get up at 5 a.m. every single day, 7 days a week, report to the yard, have trucks there waiting. I give everyone instructions for the day and they go out. It's a lot of overhead. There's a lot of stress and a lot of risk. Those types of models I don't like, right? I don't want any of that stress. And the truth is there's ways that you could make $56,000 in 10 days without having to go through that grind. And that's what's called a remote local blueprint. So I'm going to show you exactly how to set that up to have a business for yourself. So first of all, I'm obviously a little bit biased because I think local businesses, and specifically home service businesses, are absolute gold. The reason is you're only competing against a local market. Most of the people who don't even know what they're doing. I guarantee if you call, you type in cleaner near me and call the top 10 competitors, most of them are not even going to pick up. Or if they pick up, their sales script is really, really bad. So I'm not saying start a cleaning company exactly, but you have to have certain pieces in place in the local business that allows it to be remote. For example, if you have a local business, which is a gym, and you're a personal trainer, you probably are not going to be able to be remote, right? You're going to have to be very, very localized. So the question is, what type of business models let you travel the world, go to Namibia, be in the desert, do whatever you want in the world that are still local? The way you think about this is, number one, what models will allow the technicians to go straight from their home to the job site? Cleaners, window washers, carpet cleaners, mobile pet groomers, mobile car detailing. There's a million ideas of things to do, but the main thing is you don't want people to have to report to an office. You want the work to be done at the client's home. Number two is you don't want an insane amount of overhead. You don't want to have vehicles. You don't want to have office spaces. You don't want to have, HVAC equipment, which costs thousands of dollars that you need to store somewhere. If you do have that, it'd be really, really hard until you're bigger, much, much bigger, to actually be remote. So number two is don't have a business with just heavy overhead. Number three, you should have a business which you can utilize global talent to manage a local service business. For example, if you do like pest control, many times that has to do with in-person sales. It'd be really, really tough to do that, right? You could hire people locally to do that, but maybe not, right? So what kind of business models, for example, like cleaning or the other ones I mentioned before, allow you to utilize global talent for a local operation? That's step one. So let's say you pick a business model. I'll call it cleaning because that's what I know. What's the next step is find a freaking cleaner. Easy enough, right? Easiest ways to do that, Indeed, Craigslist, any job ad forum, post a job ad just for a cleaner. You could even go to Facebook groups and find people who are already cleaning and say, hey, can I pay you what you're asking? And then I'm just going to mark it up. And they'll say, wait, you're going to pay me what I'm asking? And that's it. And you say, yep, easy enough. That's pretty much how you do it just to get started. So find cleaners. Indeed and Craigslist are typically the best places we found cleaners. After that, you need to do the basic tech stuff. Basic tech stuff is throw up a website. Doesn't have to be an amazing website. It just has to be a website to get going. And sign up for a booking software. There's a lot of softwares which allow you to do scheduling. In the maid service industry, there's Launch 27, ZenMaid, Booking Koala, Convert Labs, there's Jobber, there's House Call Pro. There's an insane amount. Go to ChatGPT, type in best software for whatever business model I'm starting, and you get a list. And once you have that set up, the next step is market, get a customer, right? And the easiest way to get customers when you start, it's going to be just posting on social, letting people know you have a cleaning company, or letting people know you have a whatever company, and start to get traffic that way. Other main avenues that a lot of our franchisees work on for the digital end would be like Google local service ads or Google AdWords. Thumbtack is another big one, or just like Facebook groups and social. Those are the best on the digital perspective. As you get more involved in business, you can keep growing, trying out a bunch of different things, but there's a lot of different ways to skin this. Lastly, the best thing you need to do from the beginning, which I did not do, is document everything and work yourself out of a job. When you set up all the steps I mentioned before, you're still going to have a job. You're going to be doing everything yourself. But the goal is for you to be able to travel the world, to not have to do everything yourself, to have a business run automatically. The best way of doing that is understanding a couple concepts. Number one, big money comes later. You're not going to make that much money at the beginning because you're going to be focused on hiring and systems creation, and that's totally okay. The big money will happen as you buy back your time, get people in the place, outsource the things you don't like doing, just keep hiring, keep recruiting, and growing your business and focusing on sales. That's where the magic happens. We use Notion for our knowledge database, so every process which comes up, I'll document in Notion. And that way, anyone who comes in, I could just say, hey, read this, you're going to know what you're doing, and they can get trained up really, really fast. Building freedom, it's a process. It's not a single leap. It takes time to do. You can start doing this while you're still in a 9-to-5 as a side hustle, just to begin with and get going. The benefit is once you build a business that suits your lifestyle, you can make $56,000 when you're out in the Namibian desert and not have to lift a finger at all.